Good morning, everyone. I know this channel is still pretty small. It's still very small, with very few subscribers. But you know, I like the idea of separating content, because on my main channel I already do so many different things. I mean, filming locations, just random daily vlogs, true crime stories, unsolved mysteries, you name it. I do so many tech reviews, whatever. I do so many different things over there on that channel already, that having just this one channel here that you're watching this on, devoted solely to one topic: space, science, exploration of space and science. I just think it's a really good idea. So, you know, we're gonna stick with it, no matter what. If you scroll down the list of videos that's loaded on here already, there was a video I made a while back that was like, why SpaceX lose their video feed during the landings. Well, you know, I went in and told a whole story there, and I even did some stop motion, some animation there to help me explain to you why they lose their feed sometimes when the rockets come down. The last several rockets that landed didn't actually lose their feed, so they've done something to improve their quality there. But I do want to tell stories like this video that I'm going to show you today, them bringing it in. Most of you probably don't know that after the rocket comes and touches down, some doors open on the side of the drone ship, and a little robot rolls out to where the rocket is, and it grabs a hold of it and clamps onto it to make sure that while it's out there in the ocean and the drone ship is moving and bobbing in the ocean, the rocket doesn't fall over. I've never mentioned it to you guys before. I don't know how many of you really follow along with this stuff, but it's real. There's a robot on board those drone ships that grab a hold of those rockets and hold them. And so what I want to do here on this new space channel is not only show you the launches, the landings, all of that good stuff, but also in between time tell stories or talk about different things like this robot on the drone ship. Stuff like that. I think that would be really cool. We can even, like I did with the why they lose signal. I thought that turned out really well, especially with the stop motion. There's endless possibilities, because there's so much that happens in the space community that there's endless possibilities for content and for great videos and great stories to tell. So I think having this channel where we talk about nothing but space, I would have those opportunities now. I also do not want it to affect my other channels. So that channel is still, that's my bread and butter. That's my main channel. So I'm still going to be traveling and telling those stories and doing those, you know, true crime stories and murder mysteries and filming locations. I'm still going to be doing all that stuff on the other, and I can't let this get in the way of that. But we can do it. We can do it. I love making videos so much, and I love talking about space so much that you know, this is going to be fun for me. It's going to be a lot of fun. So even though on this channel we're talking about space mainly, this video is actually going to kind of take place on the ground, but it involves the space, so it still qualifies. Now, I show you all the launches, so I thought it would be cool today to kind of show you some of the behind the scenes. So after that first stage lands on the drone ship, they have to get it back somehow. They have to get it back because these are reusable rockets, and these rockets are designed to be reused without any refurbishment. So they shouldn't have to change engines unless there's a problem with one. They shouldn't have to replace any parts unless there's a problem. So today I'm going to show you that process, how they bring it in on that drone ship into port, and they have a giant crane. They move it over, they'll load it up on a truck and haul it off. I'm gonna shut up now, and I'm gonna show you the footage that you're here to see. What happens after the SpaceX mission is over. You've all seen the images of the Falcon 9 rocket taking off from Cape Canaveral. It goes up to space where it separates its payload, and then that first stage navigates itself back to a drone ship that's out in the middle of the ocean where it lands. Well, what happens after this point, though, because they never show that. They only move on to the next objective in their mission. You never get to see what happens to that first stage from that point on. Well, usually the following day, tugboats who are out there on location with that drone ship, they will tow the drone ship back to Cape Canaveral. It's just easier than it is to try to pilot that drone ship remotely. I want to pause right here for a second. Earlier in this video, I talked about a robot that you probably didn't know about that would come out on the drone ship and grab a hold of the rocket and hold it. Now, I'll come back and I'll do a more in-depth video about it later on, but I just wanted to show you, since I did mention it earlier, if you look underneath the rocket there, you see that white square contraption that's now underneath it, right where the engine would be. That is the robot I was talking about. Right after the Falcon 9 lands, the robot comes out of the containers on the side of the ship there. It rolls right out underneath it, and it has these arms that reach up and grab it, and it keeps it in place. So the rocket can't go anywhere, and they can't have a mishap like they did here. That's why they now have that robot. Once they finally have the Falcon 9 towed into port, they began getting it ready to get it off of the drone ship. The first thing they have to do is disconnect the octograbber, which is that robot I told you comes out and grabs a hold of the rocket. They disconnect the octograbber, and then they're going to grab it with the crane, the giant crane. You actually see it on the right there. Now, the footage I have here is actually older footage, but it's the same concept. They're just using a different crane to pick it up. So they'll grab it by the top and swing it over to land, where they will set it down, and then the workers will disconnect the landing legs. After they disconnect the legs, they actually connect a second crane to the end of it so they can lay the rocket down. Once they lay it down, they back a specially designed truck up underneath it that has this giant bed on it that the rocket fits in perfectly. It's made just for the Falcon 9 rocket. They'll lay the rocket down on it and disconnect the crane cables, and then that truck just drives right through a special gate right into the launch complex. The port actually sits right beside the launch complex. I mean, they're right next to each other, so they can virtually do all of this maneuvering, getting to space, back down to Earth, and then to the port, and then through the port back to the launch complex. It's just a giant circle, and they can do it without any hassle. And that's it. That's what happens to the rocket after it lands. Well, that is going to do it for today. This was just really my first attempt at a story time type video here for this new channel, this channel all about space. I expect there'll be plenty more to come. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I really want to talk about that octograbber. That thing is just so cool how they developed that just for these Falcon 9 rockets. So I'll probably try to do something on that pretty soon. Thank you all so much for watching. I am Bama Mike, and you learn something new every day. I'll see you all later.